Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Students, in this video we are going to cover the revision part, right, to face the O-level examination, right, in the physics subjects, right, and in this revision part I am going to do some questions from the past paper, right, and I have I think you have this book for the English medium. You have classified past paper questions with the answer, right, published by Pesur publication, right. I'm going to do these questions, right, the questions in this paper, right, in this institute, right. In your grade 10, you know chapter number 1, sorry, chapter number 2, chapter 3, chapter 5, right, and chapter 9, 11, 12, 15, 18, 19. These are the chapters that you have in the physics part, right. This is motion in a straight line, this is Newton's laws of motion, this is friction, the 9th chapter resultant force, and this is turning effect of force, and here you have equilibrium of force, here you have hydrostatic pressure, work energy power, current electricity, right. By doing some questions in the past paper, we try to revise this part for your O-level exam, right. Now first of all you should know, by covering only the physics theory, right, it's not going to give you a clear picture about the physics, right. If you want to take the clear picture, or if you want to get good understanding in the physics, right, then you have to do some questions, or you have to face some problems, right. By facing the problems or observing observing the nature, and which is very related to your subject, right, that is going to give you a good experience and good knowledge about the theory, right. Therefore, if you want to really get good understanding about your physics theory, then you have to go behind the questions and the problems, right. That is what we are going to do here, right. By doing some questions, you are going to get good understanding in your physics. Sometimes you may not having a good enough knowledge with comparing with your chemistry and the biology subjects, right, by covering only the theory part of the physics, right, because it's not like chemistry and the chemistry and the biology, right. Sometimes biology, all of the time the biology is going to give you the knowledge in the theory part itself, right. But in the chemistry, sometimes you may get 70% or 80% of knowledge, right, by the theory, right, and 20% or 30% is going to be covered by the questions, right, in your O-level, not in the A-level, right. If you go to physics, understanding the chapter, it's very poor by covering the theory, right. It's like 20 or 30% of knowledge, right. Then you don't want to worry if you are poor in the physics, right. After completing all the theories, right, it's not a problem, don't worry about it, right. You just follow this paper class continuously. After following this, after completing this, you will get a good knowledge, inshallah. Okay, right. And I'm going to start the questions from 1983, right. Sometimes this is the year that your parents taken their O-level, right. 1983 questions, right. The questions which is related to motion in the straight line, right. The first question that have been given in this tube: both are scalar quantities from the following. Scalar quantities. Scalar. right? Students, in the physical quantities, you know the physical quantities, right? The physical qualities has been changed to handle easily as physical quantities, right? These physical quantities can be divided into two main parts, right? One is scalar quantity, right, and the vector quantity. Scalar quantity means you know that, right? The scalar quantity means if the magnitude or the amount is very enough to understand about that quantity, then that type of quantity is scalar quantity. But there are some quantities, the physical quantities, right? The magnitude, the value is not enough to understand completely about that quantity. For an example, force. I gave 10 newtons. It's not enough to understand what that 10 newton is going to do, right? If you want to really understand what that 10 newton is going to do, then you have to say that direction as well. In this direction, I gave 10 newton. Then this is going to be happen. Then we can say that. Okay, right? Those type of quantities are known as vector quantities, which require, right, the direction with the magnitude, right? Only the magnitude, it's enough for the scalar quantities, right? For the vector quantities, the direction as well we require. Okay, then for example, we have some example for the scalar quantities, right? Now first work I am going to give you is, you have to search along your syllabus from your grade 10, right? Go through your grade 10 syllabus, grade 10 physics syllabus, and find, right, which quantities are scalar, which quantities are vector. If you have any doubt, right, if you have any doubt, put in the comment or give me a message or leave me a message in the WhatsApp, right? Inshallah, I'll give you the reply, right? If you have any doubt, right, is this scalar or vector, you can ask them, right? You may meet pressure, right? You can ask the pressure whether it is coming to the scalar quantity or vector quantity. If you don't know really, then you searched your best, right? But you didn't find the pressure. It's belong to which quantity, right? Then you can send it to me, or you can leave a comment in the comment section in this video, right? In the example, we can say some examples, like distance, okay, and speed, etc. Right? For this, displacement, right, velocity, etc. Right? Go through your book and you just fill up this and send a photo to me via the WhatsApp. Right? The question is given here, the scalar quantities. When we are doing the past paper questions today, right, you have to keep this in your mind, right? When we are doing the past paper questions, right, here you have given both are the scalar quantities from the following is, right? Then both mean in one answer they have given two quantities, right? Altogether here they have given 8 quantities, right? Then you can get a good knowledge when you are doing this question, right? Good exams, the knowledge about the examples of the the scalar quantity and the vector quantities, right? Then 8 because 8 quantities has been given here. The first answer, energy and power, right? For an example, 1000 joules of energy. B doesn't require in which direction, right? 1000 joules of energy from the fridge, right? But we don't worry about by which energy. 1000 joules of energy has been used by the fridge in this direction. It's nonsense, right? We don't have to say the direction, right? We have to only say the magnitude. Then the energy doesn't require the direction. Therefore, the energy is a type of scalar quantity, right? It's correct. The same way, power as well, 1000 watts, right? In which direction? We don't want to worry about it, right? Therefore, this also, but a scalar quantity. Then the first answer is correct. We don't want to worry about the next answer when we are in the exam hall, right? but now we are not in the exam hall, we are at home, right? Therefore we have to continue the second answer as well to find a knowledge to us, right? Velocity and acceleration. Velocity, it's a type of vector quantity, because when we are saying the velocity, when we are saying the speed, we don't need the direction, right? But when we are talking about the velocity, the direction of the velocity is very important, right? Sometimes you may not require this knowledge, right, to do your O level, but if you come to the advanced level, right, oftenly you are going to find the velocity with the direction, right? When you have to talk the velocity, when we are talking about the velocity, you have to very careful with the direction of that velocity, right? You can directly add it, okay? You have to consider the direction as well. Velocity and the acceleration. Acceleration also a type of vector quantity. Then the both are vector quantities, it's not the scalar quantity, right? Speed and weight. Speed, okay, it's a scalar quantity, but the weight, weight always we are talking towards down, right? Because weight, it's not about the mass, it's multiplied by what, gravitational acceleration, that is the weight, right? Because here we are not only talking about the mass, we are relating this mass with the gravitational acceleration, right? Gravity always act towards the down, towards the ground, right? Downwards it's going to be act, right? Therefore when we are talking about the weight, it's a type of force. Then because of this nature of force, you should show where it has been act, right? Always we are talking about the weight downwards, right? Therefore the weight has the direction, at the same time the magnitude, right? Therefore this is a type of vector quantity, not the scalar quantity. In another vector quantity that you have got from here, right? Write it down, okay, right? Then it's a vector quantity. Then one is scalar, one is vector, that is not the answer. Displacement, fourth answer. Displacement, it's a vector quantity. In which direction you have displaced, that is very important. You have to say the direction, right? And pressure doesn't require the direction, right? The force requires the direction, but pressure, it's not depend on the direction, right? Therefore the pressure is a type of scalar quantity, right? Now the first is vector, second is scalar, it's not the answer. But you have got another physical quantity which belongs to scalar. Write it down, right? Okay, that is the first question. Okay, if you want to note anything, pause the video and try to note it, right? I don't want to give you the time when I am doing the video, right? The second question. Motion of an object over 60 seconds in the straight line is given in the following velocity time graph. Some statements about about that motion are given below. Select the correct statement from them. Right? Okay, good. Look at this. Here you have velocity time graph. The velocity is given in meter second minus 1. This axis, here you have the time axis with the second, right? Always when we are drawing the graph, you have an x-axis and the y-axis. X-axis is going to be independent variable, right? And the y-axis is going to be dependent variable, right? Independent, dependent. This is independent from this, but this is dependent from this. When you are writing the coordinates, right? X will be written first and the y will be written the next. Y for this x, what is the y? That is the data, right? For this x, what is the y? For this x, what is the y? This x, what is the y? Right? Where therefore this is not depend on anything. This is depend on this. Right? When this is independent variable, this is going to be dependent variable. I think you have got knowledge in the term of variable in your maths, right? If you don't have, ask your maths teacher what is variable, right? Here you have given 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 120 seconds. Here you have 6, right? For 6, 60 has been marked, and this is drawn. For this 30, I don't know what they have been asked, right? Right. We first of all, before we do this question, right? Go to the question. That the question is a statement question. We are calling this type of questions as statement questions, right? If you find any statement questions, right, no problem whether it is a biology or chemistry or physics, right, in any subject, if you find a statement question, in the statement question first you have to go to the answer. Before you do the question, you have to go to the answer. After that only you have to come to the statement. The answer is given here: A only, B only A and C, and only B and C. Right? Go to the answer and find which is very common in the answer. Right? If some answer, if any answer, one statement is in the all answer 4, right? All 4 answers, right? It's there, right? Then it's not going to be read to judge that whether it is correct or wrong, right? Because the answer itself they have given, the A is correct, right? But not in this question. If you found any question like that, then you have to do this, do in this manner, right? Maximum common, right? We'll take A. A is common for first and third, right? If A is correct, then the answer should be first and third, not second and fourth, right? If A is wrong, the answer shouldn't be first and third, the should be second and fourth, right? Go to A. The object has moved 90 meter during the first 30 seconds. First 30 seconds, object has been moved how much? 90 meters, right? Normally the distance or the displacement that has been covered by the object in the velocity time graph will be found by finding the area of the graph, right? If you find the area of the graph, it's going to give you the distance covered, right? To find the area of this graph, you need the base and the perpendicular height, right? You have the base, but you don't have the perpendicular height. But you have another idea, right? That the slope of this graph, right, continuously it's not changed. Therefore, the gradient somewhere here for this whole value, right, it's going to be equal to this value as well. The gradient of this part is how much? Y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Y2 minus y1 is going to be 6 divided by x2 minus x1 is going to be 60. Y2 minus y1. Y2 minus y1. The portion of the graph, in this portion of the graph, this is the first part, this is the second part. The graph is going from here. Therefore, the first portion is here, the second portion is here. Then the y value of second portion is y2, y value of first portion is y1. 6 minus 0. I am not putting the 0, right? The second value of the x value for the second portion is 60 minus first value is 0. Therefore, 6 over 60 is going to be equal to, right, the gradient here. The gradient here is how much? Y2, we don't know that x, or in the y-axis we will take it as y. Y minus 0 divided by 30 minus 0, right? Then this is going to be 10, 1, right? Then the y is going to be equal to 3 meter second minus 1. right? Then you know the perpendicular height and the base, right? Therefore you can find the what the surface area. How much? The distance covered is equal to, you don't want to write all these things, right? You are doing MCQ. When you are doing the essay question only, you have to write everything, right? When you are doing the MCQ, you have to quickly, you have to do these calculations very short, right? The distance covered is going to be equal to the half into base into perpendicular height is 3, right? That is 45 meter, and A is wrong, right? A is wrong. That is 45 meter, not 90 meters, right? If the A is wrong, the first answer and the third answers are not the answers, right? Then B only or B and C, right? Look at those two answers, right? In the second and fourth answer, the B is there. Then the B should be correct, right? The statement B should be correct, right? If the B is correct, if you have been found, right, that the B is correct, why you are going to read the B? Don't read B, right? Go to C. If C is correct, then the answer is fourth. If C is wrong, then the answer is second. That's it, right? Go to C. The velocity of the object definitely would be 12 meter second minus 1 when the time t is 120. Look at this. For 60 it's 6, for 30 is 3. Then the 420, it should be 12 if this is continuously drawn. Right? If it continuously going like this, then the in time is equal to 120 seconds. The velocity should be definitely it should be 12 meter second minus 1 is correct. The C is correct. Then the answer is going to be fourth, right? The B is wrong. Sorry, B is correct. B is correct, right? B is correct, right? We didn't read the B, but we know that B is correct, right? How it's correct, we'll see that. When you are in the exam hall, you don't want to see that, right? Now you are at home now, right? We'll see that. Constant force has been acted on the object during the first 60 seconds. During this first 60 seconds, constant force has been acted. Constant force, right? See this. Sometimes you may not familiar to compare the force with the velocity time graph, but you are familiar with the acceleration. Here the slope is equal continuously, not changing. The slope of the velocity time graph is acceleration, you know that. The slope of the velocity time graph is acceleration, or the gradient of the velocity time graph is acceleration, right? Velocity over time taken, velocity change over time taken, it's going to be obtained as the gradient. Therefore, the gradient in the velocity time graph is acceleration. Here, since the gradient is not changing continuously until the 60 seconds, right? If you go to the equation which is with the acceleration is F is equal to ma, right? Acceleration related with the force. You are not familiar the force with the velocity time graph, but you are familiar with the acceleration, right? Now this graph itself is saying that the acceleration is constant. Continuously acceleration remain as same. Then if the acceleration is constant, right? Normally for an object the mass also going to be constant, then the multiplication is going to be continuously constant. Therefore the force also going to be constant, right? That is what the statement that has been given here. Constant force has been acted on the object during the first 60 seconds. Yes, it's correct. Therefore the B is correct. We don't want to read it, but by the reading also, what we are getting that the statement is correct. Okay, right? Then the statement is correct. 60 seconds. Sorry, during the 60 seconds, right? I hope you got a little good idea about the force and the velocity time graph and the scalar vector quantities. right? Inshallah, we'll continue this video uh, with the rest of the questions, right, in next video inshallah, right? Barakallahu fikum, jazakumullah.